You'll know that PBS is happening within services, I think, because of it's apparent in the culture of the service. I think you'll see it on the faces of the staff, the teams in services. You'll see an enthusiasm, a positivity in their approach to their work, and I think that that will be translated in the support that they provide and in the quality of the lives of the people they work with. Because one of the main aims of positive behaviour support is to improve the quality of the lives of the people we support, you'll know it's happening when there's a real focus on their day. And if people are having good days and they're having a good time, then I think you'll know that positive behaviour support is working. And there are many challenges in making that happen. By definition, when you're working with individuals with challenging behaviour, there are lots of barriers to allowing us to provide that kind of quality of life for people. But where I think staff are creative in their approach and curious about what might be going wrong and what they can do to make things better, then I think you'll get somewhere. You'll have some success. I think that requires a great deal of consistency across teams, which is a very difficult thing to achieve. Everybody will have different ideas as to exactly what the right thing to do is in any given situation. So I think you will have everybody knowing what's expected of them and being able to deliver on a support plan. And in doing that, I think that yeah, you'll get somewhere. Within the organisation that I work for, I think I work for a very large organisation, and that presents its own challenges. To be able to get the message across to many people requires a lot of careful thought and consideration, make sure that message is right, that the message goes across in the right way. Because I think you do need everybody to understand the aims of positive behaviour support, to understand enough about it to be able to deliver positive behaviour support. So that is, I think you do need to make sure that everybody knows enough about it, from the very top of the organisation all the way through to all staff. And I think in making sure that everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet, then that consistency is possible. And I think that the team and the management team needs to be in the right place. I think people have to have an optimism and an enthusiasm and a belief that this is going to work. And I think that's an easy sell, because we have had many success stories in using positive behavioural support, and we can see the effect that it has had on the lives of some of the people we support. There is, for example, there's a young lady that we support who lives down in the southwest, who, when we first started to support her, when she first came to the service, she did present with some very challenging behaviours, and she was a considerable risk to herself, to others, and there were, sadly at that time, many restrictions placed around her support in order to keep her safe. But through applying the principles of positive behaviour support and the way that team have organised her support has been transformational for her. What she achieves today, she never would have been able to do when we first started supporting. And these are perhaps simple things, going to the shops and going swimming and going on holiday. I think she went on holiday for the first time, a year or two ago, which was a remarkable thing for that to happen. So working with the family very closely, working with the team to achieve those things has been very satisfying, pleasing. We found that to enable teams to implement a lot of what's important in positive behaviour support is to make sure that they have the right kind of guidance at the right kind of time, so that so they know what to do. I work in learning and development, so I provide a lot of training courses to teams, giving them information about what positive behaviour support is and how it looks, and some of the details, some of the theory behind it, which is important. But translating that theory into practice, into what happens on a day-to-day basis, is incredibly important. And that requires ongoing practice leadership, ongoing support within services, to give teams that steer in real-life situations, so that they're getting it right, because everybody will have a slightly different way of working and a slightly different view as to what to do in different situations. So having practice leaders providing that mentoring role, that guidance to ensure that people are supported correctly is absolutely necessary for positive behaviour support. We talk a lot about active support and making sure that the people we work with and the people we support have a genuine participation in their own lives and are included in as much and as varied and given different opportunities to be involved in their daily lives. And that takes, I think, a great deal of skill to be able to do that. So supporting staff to get that right, I think, is very important. I think my light bulb moment actually came when I did the coaches program, the Bild's PBS coaches program, and during that I had somewhat of an epiphany in many respects it's an obvious thing, but it takes these things to slightly to make you realise what's quite obvious. I do a lot of training in physical intervention. That's part of my role within the organisation I work for. We deliver training around physical intervention to manage some of the behaviours of the people we support. And there was a time in the past, perhaps, where we were over-reliant on that form of support, on reactive management of behaviour. And I knew that your emphasis should be on proactive management of behaviour and not reactive management of behaviour. But I think some of the discussions that we had when I did the coaches programme really, I think, made me understand that that's really by far and away the most important things, and really understanding what it is you can do to develop people's skills, communication skills, coping strategies, develop their ability and their skills in such a way that they're less reliant on their challenging behaviour to get what they want.